What if you've been manifesting on autopilot without even knowing it? This audiobook shatters the myths of self-help and reveals the real law of creation. You're not here to wish for change. You're here to create it. Your reality is waiting for your command. Introduction. What if I told you that everything you've read about success, manifestation, and personal transformation is missing one critical truth, and that truth is the reason why your vision board hasn't changed your life. Your affirmations feel hollow, and your endless self-work still leaves you waking up to the same reality? Pause right here. This isn't just another motivational message wrapped in feel-good quotes. This is the intervention your subconscious has been waiting for. Because if you've been doing everything right, reading the books, saying the mantras, visualizing like your life depends on it, and still feeling stuck, frustrated, or secretly disconnected from your power, it's not your fault. You've been trained to consume transformation like entertainment, not to embody it. You've been conditioned to chase goals from the outside in, when the real shift was always meant to start at the source, you. Here's the raw truth no one wants to say. Traditional self-help was never designed to set you free. It was designed to keep you seeking, motivated enough to buy, but uncertain enough to return, inspired but not activated. And that's exactly what's broken in the industry. A cycle of passive inspiration without embodied transformation. You've been taught to manifest like you're ordering from a catalog. Wish, wait, hope. But you weren't born to wish. You were born to create, and that difference changes everything. This book isn't about fixing you. It's about waking you up. It doesn't hand you steps. It reprograms your foundation. Because the law of creation isn't just another spiritual principle. It's the underlying operating system of reality itself. It is the source code beneath every miracle, every breakthrough, and every quantum leap you've ever witnessed or longed to experience. Where the law of attraction says, like attracts like, the law of creation declares, you are the source of what becomes real. If that makes your chest tighten or your mind spin, it should. It's supposed to. This book will challenge everything you've accepted as truth about growth, manifestation, and success. It doesn't exist to inspire you. It exists to interrupt you, to shake you from the trance of passive consumption and reawaken your ability to consciously code your reality moment by moment from the inside out. Inside these pages, we aren't chasing desires. We're collapsing the illusion that you have to chase them at all. We're not teaching you how to think positive. We're teaching you how to become a creator, a master of your own reality, someone who doesn't just visualize results, but commands them into form through frequency, focus, and identity. Here's the promise of this book. If you engage fully, not as a reader but as a creator in training, your life will no longer operate by default. The things you once called miracles will become normal. The breakthroughs you thought required permission, time, or outside validation will collapse into the now. Not because you finally became good enough, but because you finally remembered who you are. This is the book that ends the cycle of searching and begins the era of embodied manifestation. But only if you're ready to stop watching transformation and start becoming it. The question is, are you? Chapter 1. The illusion of learning, the addiction to consuming content. There's something deeply seductive about the hunt for answers. You know that moment when you discover a new book, video, podcast, or quote, and it feels like a revelation. It's as if, for just a second, your world sharpens into clarity. You highlight the passage. You rewind the clip. You think, this is it. This is the one that's going to change everything. And for a few heartbeats, you feel lifted, hopeful, as if you're finally closer to solving the puzzle of your life. But then, it fades. The epiphany loses its spark. The quote becomes a memory. You search again. You start another book. you open another tab. What you're chasing is not insight, it's a fix, a quick emotional hit of possibility. The truth is, you're not addicted to growth. You're addicted to consuming growth content, which is not the same thing. In today's world, we are drowning in information, but starved for integration. You're not alone in this. The self-help and spiritual development space is filled with seekers like you, earnestly hoping that the next thing they read, watch, or hear will finally crack the code. And the platforms we use, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, even well-meaning email lists, feed this craving perfectly. Every scroll brings a new insight. Every speaker offers a new promise, and you begin to develop this quiet, unspoken belief that transformation is just one more piece of content away. One more book. One more masterclass. But deep down, a part of you knows you've already heard most of it. You've read the techniques. You've learned the laws. You've memorized the affirmations. You're not suffering from a lack of knowledge. You're suffering from a lack of embodiment. The insights are trapped in your head, never crossing the bridge into your life, and this is where we confront the illusion of learning. There's a kind of comfort in staying in the consumption loop. It allows you to feel like you're moving without having to confront the discomfort of actual movement. Watching videos about discipline feels like discipline. Reading about self-worth feels like self-worth. But this is a kind of self-soothing, not self-evolving. You're wrapping yourself in the warm blanket of potential instead of stepping into the chill of uncertain progress. And the longer you stay here, consuming, reflecting, hoping, the more you unconsciously train yourself to seek fulfillment through understanding instead of through doing. You become the collector of wisdom, not the wielder of it. You decorate your inner world with ideas, but leave your outer life unchanged. And this, my friend, is the trap we must escape. Why knowing isn't the same as doing. Let me ask you something that might sting a little. How many times have you read or heard something and said, "Yeah, I know that," only to realize your life shows no evidence of that knowing? We've all done it. We confuse familiarity with mastery. You hear a principle enough times, and it begins to feel like something you've already lived. I know I should be grateful. I know I need to take action. I know I'm supposed to visualize. But knowing and doing exist in entirely different dimensions. Knowing is mental. Doing is physical. And more importantly, being, which is the true seat of manifestation, is energetic. You can know something intellectually and still sabotage it energetically. You can memorize an entire book on confidence and still shrink in real conversations. You can understand abundance and still live from scarcity. Why? Because integration doesn't happen in the head. It happens in the practice. Here's a truth most content creators won't tell you. Information is cheap. It's everywhere. It's replicable. But transformation? That's rare, that's sacred. And it comes with a cost, your comfort. That's the trade. Most people stay trapped in the learning loop because it allows them to feel smart, feel inspired, even feel righteous without ever having to change. To apply what you know means risking failure. It means confronting resistance. It means stepping into situations where your tools are tested and where you may not have control. But that is where real creation begins. In the mess, in the motion, in the moments where you stop trying to know more and instead commit to living what you already know. If knowing were enough, we'd all be rich, healed, happy, and fulfilled. But knowledge alone doesn't change behavior. Emotion and embodiment do. Think about it. A person can know smoking is bad for them and still smoke every day. Someone can know how to lose weight and never change their diet. Why? Because knowledge isn't the catalyst. The activation of knowledge is. That happens when we take what we've learned and bring it into our rituals, our routines, our conversations, our choices, and our identity. That is where the law of creation lives, not in the theory of transformation, but in the tension between intention and execution. So I want to challenge you. Stop asking, "Do I know this?" and start asking, "Where am I living this?" Don't measure your progress by how many books you've read. Measure it by how many behaviors you've changed, how many hard conversations you've had, how many hours you've shown up even when you didn't feel like it, how often you've chosen the aligned path instead of the easy one. That's the difference between a reader and a creator, between a consumer of inspiration and a producer of transformation. And the truth is, you're capable of so much more than you've allowed yourself to become, not because you need more input, but because you need more output. You need to move. You need to do. You need to live. Breaking the cycle of information overload. Now that we've pulled back the curtain, what do we do with the mess we've revealed? How do we break the loop, disrupt the addiction, and reclaim our power as creators instead of collectors? The first step is awareness. Begin to notice how often you turn to content as a form of emotional escape. Are you watching that video because you're seeking alignment or because you're avoiding action? Are you reading that chapter to deepen your practice or to delay your discomfort? It's okay to be honest here. This isn't about guilt. It's about choice. When you realize that your compulsive search for more is rooted in a lack of trust in yourself, you can begin the real work, learning to listen inward instead of constantly looking outward. Once you've become aware, the next step is to create boundaries. Yes, even with positive content. Decide what your consumption to action ratio will be. For every 30 minutes you spend learning, spend 30 minutes applying. If you journal about abundance, also act from abundance. If you study courage, go do something scary. Make learning the doorway, not the destination. Set a limit on the number of voices you listen to. Too many mentors dilute your message. You don't need 50 opinions. You need one decision. Trust that you already have what you need to begin. The answers are already within you, buried beneath the noise of overconsumption. Your next level isn't in another download. It's in your discipline. And finally, anchor your new identity through small but intentional shifts. Every time you choose creation over consumption, you reinforce a new self-image. I am someone who lives what I learn. That's the identity that transforms. That's the identity that manifests. Make that your new affirmation, not just in words, but in behavior. Clean your space. Prioritize presence. Get uncomfortable. Stay in motion. Track your own patterns. You'll be amazed at what emerges when you stop soaking in the stream of secondhand wisdom and begin listening to your own inner voice. You are not here to be an echo chamber of other people's ideas. You are here to create. That's the law. That's the invitation. Chapter 2. Planning is not progress. The comfort of planning feels productive. It carries the scent of intention, the illusion of momentum. It seduces us with organization, structure, and hope. But beneath the polished surface of color-coded calendars, meticulous to-do lists, and endlessly optimized morning routines lies a hard truth. Planning is not progress. Planning is preparation, and while preparation has its place, it is not the same as motion. We mistake the clarity of a plan for the courage of a step. We sit for hours mapping out the ideal day, scripting the perfect week, designing the flawless funnel, convincing ourselves that when we finally act, we'll be ready. But readiness is rarely what we think it is. It's not a condition you reach. It's a decision you make. Why do we cling to planning? Because it keeps us in the land of potential. Planning says, one day. Planning says, soon. It allows us to fantasize about success without having to risk failure. It lets us feel in control. It gives us the upper hand in our imaginary future where everything goes according to blueprint. And that's where the trap lives. Because in the real world, plans are sketches, fragile and often irrelevant the moment they meet reality. Life responds not to your outline, but to your energy. You can spend hours mapping the perfect launch strategy, but unless you hit publish, you've built nothing. You can design the perfect gym routine, but unless you pick up the weights, you've changed nothing. The plan does not make you stronger, the doing does. This is not an attack on clarity. Clarity is powerful. Direction matters. But we have turned planning into a performance, an elaborate ritual we use to delay the discomfort of starting. We call it being intentional, but often it's just avoidance dressed in productivity's clothing. We have glorified structure so much that we forget the structure only matters if it leads to something lived. The law of creation doesn't respond to the plan on your whiteboard. It responds to the energy you put in motion. Planning is important, but only when it leads to execution. Otherwise, it's just another cage built from your own perfectionism. Action as the catalyst. If planning is the spark of intention, action is the flame that turns it into reality. Nothing happens until something moves. This may sound obvious, but in practice, it's rarely embraced. We spend far more time conceptualizing success than creating it. Why? Because action is immediate. It demands vulnerability. It's messy. It strips away the illusion that you're not ready and forces you into the arena of becoming. And that's where the real magic happens. Not in the pristine strategy session, but in the imperfect first step, the shaky launch, the rough draft, the vulnerable post. It's in the doing that the creator is forged. When you act, you give the universe something to work with. Creation requires collaboration between your intent and your execution, between your vision and your voice. You can sit on the couch visualizing abundance, but until you move toward it, you haven't activated the law. The truth is, energy responds to energy. You get feedback, synchronicity, clarity, confidence, but only after you move. Only when you step out of your mind and into the world does momentum begin to gather around you. Action is not the reward for clarity. It's the creator of it. Most people are waiting for confidence before they act, but confidence is a result of acting. You build it like a muscle through repetition, not contemplation. And this is where so many people stay stuck. They think they need more belief before they begin, but belief often comes from experience, not thought. The first time you speak, publish, pitch, post, or lead, you won't feel ready. You'll feel exposed. But each time you do it, something shifts in you. Your nervous system adapts. Your identity evolves. You begin to see yourself not as someone who wants to change, but as someone who does. That shift in identity is the cornerstone of all lasting transformation. When you act, you don't just get results. You get a new reference point for who you are. You start living your potential instead of merely planning it. The fear behind inaction. So if action is so powerful, so catalytic, why do so many of us avoid it? The answer is simple but profound. Fear. Not the kind that screams, but the kind that whispers. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of being seen. At its core, inaction is rarely about laziness. It's about protection. We don't act because we're trying to shield ourselves from disappointment, from discomfort, from the brutal honesty of feedback. Because when you act, you reveal something. You put your energy on the line, you open yourself to being witnessed, and in doing so, you become vulnerable. Vulnerability is the price of authenticity, and authenticity is the path to manifestation. Many of us carry silent stories that keep us from starting. Stories like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I try and fail? Or even more subtly, what if it works and I can't handle it? These narratives operate like invisible walls. They shape our behavior without our consent. And the worst part? They often sound reasonable. I'm just waiting for the right time. I need to get more organized first. I want to make sure I'm clear. These are not truths. These are defense mechanisms. They are fear, wearing the mask of logic. And the only way to expose that fear is to move in spite of it. Action is how you dismantle the lie that you're not ready. It's how you prove to yourself that you can survive being seen. Here's what most people don't realize. The moment you act, your fear loses power. Not because the fear goes away, but because your identity expands. You prove to yourself that you can feel fear and still move, that you can feel doubt and still decide, that you can be uncertain and still create. This is the ultimate alchemy. You are no longer someone thinking about change. You become someone embodying it. Every act of courage, no matter how small, chips away at the old self and carves space for the new one. That's how transformation happens. Not in the mind, but in the motion. You don't need more perfect plans. You need imperfect action. You don't need more content. You need more courage. You don't need to feel ready. You need to be in motion. Planning has its place, but never let it become your prison. The law of creation responds to what you do, not just what you intend. And the longer you wait to move, the heavier your dreams become. They don't go away. They just turn into weight you carry, unrealized and unresolved. But the moment you move, even one imperfect step, you lift that weight. You activate momentum. You begin to create. You are not here to perfect your plan. You are here to activate your power. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. Choose it. Chapter 3. Belief before evidence. The internal architecture of belief. Every action you take, every choice you make, stems from one powerful origin point: your belief system. The truth is, long before a result exists in your external world, it must be constructed within your inner landscape. This is where the foundation of your reality is built. Not in the marketplace, not in the feedback of others, not in the data, but in the silent, often invisible world of your thoughts and assumptions. Belief is not a passive thing. It is an engine, always on, always humming, shaping your experience, validating your fears, or empowering your desires, depending on the program it runs. Before anything materializes, before you even make the first move, your mind is already architecting your future. Whether that future is filled with expansion or limitation is determined not by what's happening around you, but by what's happening within you. It is easy to look at someone who is already successful and attribute their results to luck, timing, or natural ability. But beneath their visible results lies something far more influential: the beliefs they chose to nurture long before anyone else could see proof. Belief is the seed of every breakthrough. It's the courage to stand in possibility without validation. It's the willingness to trust what you feel over what you can currently prove. And that's what separates those who create their reality from those who only respond to it. Most people wait for evidence before they allow themselves to believe. They want the income before they call themselves wealthy. They want the audience before they speak with authority. But creators flip the equation. They believe first, and that belief begins to generate the very evidence others are waiting for. What you believe is not just a mental concept. It is a frequency you emit. It colors your posture, your voice, your presence. It determines whether you show up with conviction or with hesitation. People respond not just to what you say, but to what you believe about what you say. Your belief is the real message. When you carry a belief deeply enough, the world starts to organize around it. Not because of magic, but because belief changes your behavior, and behavior is what shifts outcomes. The challenge, of course, is that belief feels abstract. It isn't tangible like results are. And yet, paradoxically, those who demand proof before permission are the ones who stay stuck, because creation requires belief to come first. Always. The energy of uncertainty and how it binds you. When belief is absent or fragile, something else takes its place: uncertainty. And uncertainty is one of the most paralyzing emotional states for a human being to inhabit. not because it hurts like fear or burns like anger, but because it dulls you. It robs you of clarity. It loops your thoughts in endless analysis, causing hesitation to masquerade as caution and resistance to pose as wisdom. Uncertainty doesn't shout, it whispers. It suggests that now might not be the right time, that you should wait for more information, that someone else probably knows better. But the worst part? It feels responsible. It feels like you're doing the smart thing by waiting. In truth, you're ceding your power to the illusion of someday. Uncertainty is the space where your inner critic thrives. When you don't believe in your direction, you open the door to every old story that's ever tried to protect you. Stories that say you're not capable, not smart enough, not original enough, not worthy. These thoughts don't feel like lies because they come wrapped in familiarity. They speak in your voice, echoing from your past, tethered to moments where you did hesitate, or did fail, or didn't get chosen. But the problem isn't that you once doubted yourself. The problem is that you built an identity around those doubts. And until that identity is dismantled, every opportunity you face will feel like a risk instead of a right. The most dangerous thing about uncertainty is that it feels like truth, but it isn't. It's a lack of decision. It's a gap waiting to be filled by belief. When you hesitate to move forward because you don't know enough, what you're really saying is that you haven't decided to trust yourself. That's the heart of it. Belief isn't about facts. It's about commitment. Commitment to a direction. Commitment to yourself. Once you decide, you generate momentum. But without that inner decision, you remain energetically divided, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And divided energy creates scattered results. Clarity doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from choosing more powerfully. Belief is a choice before it is a certainty. Embodying the future you. Before it arrives, what does it actually look like to believe before there's evidence? It means showing up as the version of yourself who already has the result. Now, not waiting to be chosen, validated, or proven right. It means letting the future shape your behavior today. This is not pretending. This is embodiment. Pretending is surface-level performance, but embodiment is an internal alignment. It's when your identity evolves ahead of your circumstances. And this, more than any tactic, is what creates transformation. Because when you are the person before you see the proof becomes inevitable. Your decisions change. Your presence deepens. Your energy becomes undeniable. Embodying your future self means making decisions from expansion, not limitation. Instead of asking, "What can I afford?" you ask, "What aligns with where I'm going?" Instead of asking, "What will keep me safe?" you ask, "What will stretch me into more of who I'm here to be?" Most people let their current bank account decide their future, or their follower count, or their resume. But those are just echoes of who you've been. Creation doesn't come from the echo, it comes from the source, and you are that source. The moment you begin acting from belief, not in fantasy, but in grounded energetic alignment, you begin altering the trajectory of your life, not in months or years, in moments. The resistance most people feel to embodying their future self comes from a fear of looking foolish. Who am I to speak like a leader when no one's listening? Who am I to charge that price, write that book, share that truth? But these questions are only intimidating if you believe your current evidence defines your worth. It doesn't. Worth is not something you earn by checking boxes. Worth is something you reclaim by remembering who you already are. When you stop asking for permission to be powerful, you start realizing that belief isn't a leap, it's a return to a version of you that never doubted, never hesitated, never questioned if she was enough. That version is not a fantasy. She's a frequency, and you can tune to her now. You cannot create from a state of waiting. waiting for clarity, waiting for evidence, waiting for someone else to believe first. All of it delays the unfolding of your own potential. Creation begins the moment you believe it's already underway. Not because you see it, but because you decided it. Every great achievement, every iconic leader, every movement that ever shifted the world began with one person who believed before anyone else did. That belief lit a fire the world could not ignore. And that same power lives in you, not someday. Now, Chapter 4, The Emotional Blueprint, Designing from Feeling First. Emotions as signals, not side effects. When most people think about manifesting their desires, they imagine vision boards, affirmations, or clever strategies. But what lies beneath all of these tools, the true initiator of reality, is emotion. Emotion is the invisible ink on the blueprint of your life. It writes silently, but with permanence. We're taught to see our emotions as reactions, reflections of what's happening around us. But this view is deeply disempowering. In truth, emotion is not a response. It is a directive. Your emotional state sends energetic instructions to your subconscious, broadcasting the version of reality you're attuned to. It becomes the silent author of what you attract, what you notice, and what you manifest. When you feel powerless, you unconsciously create experiences that mirror that vibration, not as punishment, but as proof. The universe always complies with your energetic signature. To create intentionally, you must first understand that your feelings are not arbitrary. They are feedback from the beliefs you're running and the identity you're inhabiting. Most people treat their emotions like weather patterns, uncontrollable, external, happening to them. But emotions don't just appear from thin air. They emerge from meaning. What you believe a situation means about you, your safety, your future. And that meaning isn't objective. It's chosen. If you feel unworthy, it's not because life declared it. It's because somewhere along the way you did. And you can choose differently. But choosing new thoughts without addressing the emotion behind them is like painting over cracked walls. It might look better temporarily, but the structural instability remains. You don't need to escape your emotions. You need to listen to them and then rewrite the instructions they're giving your life. When you learn to interpret your emotions as intelligent guidance rather than inconvenient obstacles, everything changes. You stop resisting the feeling and start mining it for wisdom. Sadness shows where you're misaligned with truth. Anger reveals where you've abandoned yourself. Anxiety points to a future you're bracing for instead of believing in. These aren't flaws to be hidden. They are invitations to return to alignment. And when you respond to them with compassion instead of suppression, your internal state begins to recalibrate, not through effort, but through honesty. That honesty, that emotional fluency, is what allows your manifestations to flow without force. Because once your emotional state aligns with your desire, resistance dissolves and creation accelerates. Designing the desired state before the desired outcome. Most people reverse the order of creation. They say, once I have the relationship, then I'll feel loved. Once I get the money, then I'll feel safe. Once I achieve the goal, then I'll feel proud. But this backwards logic is precisely what stalls manifestation. Because if your internal state is one of lack, waiting, or disbelief, the signal you're broadcasting is not yet. And life echoes back what you send out. So instead of chasing the result to create the feeling, you must generate the feeling to create the result. Emotion comes first. Reality comes second. That is the law of creation in action. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are emotionally attuned to. And becoming that version of yourself isn't something you wait for. It's something you decide. Designing your internal state intentionally means asking yourself a new kind of question. Not, what do I need to do? But, how do I need to feel? That single shift is revolutionary. Because once you identify the feeling state that matches your desired outcome, whether it's freedom, confidence, joy, safety, you begin organizing your thoughts, actions, and choices around that frequency. You stop treating emotion as a byproduct and begin using it as a tool. You become a sculptor, carving your inner world into a match for the life you want to live. This isn't about faking happiness or forcing positivity. It's about deliberately cultivating the emotional resonance of your highest timeline, and that practice changes everything. This is why people often manifest breakthroughs after healing emotionally, even if nothing changed externally. Because healing lifts the emotional ceiling you've been living under. It frees up space for new energy to move in. Emotion is energetic currency, and when you carry emotional debt, unprocessed pain, guilt, shame, you operate from scarcity even if you're trying to manifest abundance. That internal incongruence creates static in your signal. But when you take the time to identify the emotional frequency of your desire and practice feeling that state through imagination, gratitude, movement, or presence, you begin broadcasting a clear, powerful message to life itself. I'm ready. And the universe listens. The discipline of emotional consistency. Creating from emotion requires more than a fleeting burst of inspiration. It requires emotional consistency. Not perfection, not never feeling low, but the discipline to return to your desired emotional frequency more often than not. This doesn't mean suppressing negative feelings. It means holding the vision of who you're becoming, even when discomfort arises. Because consistency is not about always feeling great. It's about remembering your power when you don't. Emotional mastery isn't the absence of struggle. It's the presence of self-leadership in the midst of it. It's the ability to anchor yourself in chosen emotion again and again until it becomes your new normal. Emotional consistency is what builds energetic momentum. Imagine tuning a radio to a specific station. If you keep switching frequencies, the music keeps cutting out. But when you stay locked in, the signal strengthens, the volume increases, and the message comes through clearly. The same is true for your emotional state. If you keep jumping between belief and doubt, joy and fear, excitement and resignation, you fragment your energy. But when you remain emotionally congruent with your vision, even when results are still invisible, you build a frequency strong enough to shape matter. You become magnetic, not because you force outcomes, but because your energy becomes irresistible to that which matches it. Practicing emotional consistency requires awareness and commitment. It means noticing when you've slipped into old emotions and gently redirecting yourself, not with judgment, but with intention. This might look like rewriting a narrative you've been rehearsing in your head. It might mean choosing gratitude over cynicism. It might mean pausing to breathe instead of reacting. These are micro choices, but they carry macro impact. Because every time you choose the feeling state of your desired self, you reinforce that identity. You make it real. And over time, it becomes effortless. Emotion, once a reaction, becomes a habit, a chosen default, a frequency you live from, not reach for. And that's when creation becomes automatic. The truth most people miss is this: you don't need more motivation, more hustle, or more strategy. You need more alignment. And alignment starts emotionally. Before you take action, before you speak the affirmation, before you write the plan, ask yourself, what am I feeling? And then ask, what would I be feeling if I already had it? That question unlocks everything, because it repositions you from a seeker of results to a source of reality. You stop reacting to the world and start designing it from the inside out. Emotion is not a weakness. It's not a distraction. It is the language of creation. And when you master that language, you stop needing the world to shift before you feel better. You feel better, and the world shifts in response. Chapter 5. The power of presence, anchoring creation in the now. The illusion of time and the reality of now time is often perceived as a linear progression, a sequence of past, present, and future moments. However, this perception is an illusion. In truth, the only moment that ever exists is the present. The past is a memory, the future a projection. Both are constructs of the mind. When you dwell on the past, you relive memories that no longer exist. When you worry about the future, you engage with scenarios that have not yet occurred. Neither state allows you to harness the creative power inherent in the now. The present moment is the point of power. It is the only time when you can take action, make choices, and influence outcomes. By anchoring yourself in the now, you align with the flow of life and open yourself to infinite possibilities. This alignment is not about ignoring the past or denying the future. It is about recognizing that your ability to create and manifest resides solely in the present. When you fully inhabit the now, you become a conscious participant in the unfolding of your reality. Living in the present requires mindfulness and intentionality. It involves observing your thoughts without attachment, acknowledging your emotions without judgment, and engaging with your surroundings with full awareness. This state of presence allows you to respond to life with clarity and purpose, rather than reacting out of habit or fear. By cultivating presence, you tap into the creative energy that shapes your experiences and brings your desires into form. The role of awareness in conscious creation. Awareness is the foundation of conscious creation. It is the ability to observe your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without becoming entangled in them. When you are aware, you can identify limiting beliefs, recognize self-sabotaging patterns, and choose responses that align with your highest intentions. Awareness empowers you to break free from unconscious programming and step into your role as the deliberate creator of your life. Developing awareness requires practice and patience. It involves turning inward, quieting the mind, and paying attention to the subtle cues of your inner world. Meditation, journaling, and mindfulness exercises are powerful tools for enhancing awareness. These practices help you become more attuned to your thoughts and feelings, allowing you to discern which ones serve your growth and which ones hinder it. As your awareness expands, you begin to notice the interconnectedness of all things. You see how your thoughts influence your emotions, how your emotions drive your actions, and how your actions shape your reality. This understanding fosters a sense of responsibility and empowerment. You realize that by shifting your internal state, you can transform your external circumstances. Awareness becomes the key that unlocks the door to intentional living and purposeful creation. Embodying presence through daily practice. Embodying presence is not a one-time event. It is a continuous practice that requires commitment and consistency. To live in the now, you must integrate presence into your daily life. This integration involves creating rituals and habits that anchor you in the present moment and reinforce your connection to your inner self. Start by setting aside time each day for stillness and reflection. This could be through meditation, deep breathing, or simply sitting in silence. Use this time to tune into your body, observe your thoughts, and connect with your inner guidance. These moments of stillness help you cultivate a sense of peace and centeredness that carries over into the rest of your day. Incorporate mindfulness into your everyday activities. Whether you're eating, walking, or engaging in conversation, bring your full attention to the task at hand. Notice the sensations, sounds, and feelings that arise. By doing so, you transform ordinary moments into opportunities for presence and awareness. Practice gratitude as a means of grounding yourself in the now. Each day, take time to acknowledge the blessings in your life, no matter how small. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is abundant, fostering a sense of fulfillment and contentment. This positive state of being enhances your ability to attract and manifest your desires. Finally, be gentle with yourself. The journey to presence is not about perfection. It's about progress. There will be times when you slip into old patterns or become distracted by external circumstances. When this happens, simply bring your attention back to the present moment. Each return to presence strengthens your ability to live consciously and create intentionally. By embracing the power of presence, you align with the creative force of the universe. You step out of the limitations of time and into the boundless potential of the now. In this state, you become the master of your reality, capable of manifesting your deepest desires and living a life of purpose and fulfillment. Chapter 6. Aligning with Abundance. Tapping into Infinite Resources. The abundance mindset, shifting from scarcity to possibility. At the core of all manifestation lies the concept of abundance. This term, though often associated with wealth or material gain, transcends the physical. Abundance is a mindset, an energetic state that sees the world as full of opportunities, resources, and potential, ready to be claimed. The opposite of abundance is scarcity, a belief that the world is finite, that there's never enough to go around, that someone else's success diminishes your chance at achieving your own. Scarcity breeds fear, competition, and jealousy, locking you into a cycle of lack. Abundance, however, opens you to a life of possibility, where you know that all the resources you need are available to you, and that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, is conspiring to help you fulfill your desires. To align with abundance, you must first recognize how scarcity has shaped your thoughts and behaviors. It may show up as a fear of not having enough time, money, love, or opportunities. This fear creates a vibration of lack, signaling to the universe that you are not yet worthy or ready for the blessings you seek. In truth, the universe responds not to the presence of lack, but to the energy you emit. When you focus on the abundance already present in your life, no matter how small, you activate the frequency of more. Gratitude is the key that opens this door. It is the recognition that abundance is not something you have to strive for, but something you align with. By acknowledging the abundance in your current situation, whether it's the air you breathe, the love of a friend, or the opportunities in front of you, you shift your vibration from one of scarcity to one of prosperity. Changing your mindset is not an overnight process. It requires intentional practice and self-awareness. You must actively challenge thoughts of scarcity, replacing them with affirmations of abundance. For instance, when you catch yourself thinking, "There's never enough money," shift that thought to, "Money flows easily and effortlessly to me." When you feel envy or jealousy towards someone else's success, remind yourself, "Their success is evidence that success is available to me as well." These shifts are not magical fixes, but they are powerful tools that, when practiced consistently, rewire your mental and emotional patterns to match the abundant reality you wish to create. The flow of abundance, creating space for prosperity to enter. Once you've adopted the abundance mindset, the next step is creating the space for prosperity to flow into your life. Manifestation is not just about thinking positively, it's about taking aligned action and creating room for what you desire to enter. Often, people block abundance without realizing it. They may hold on to old beliefs, habits, or material possessions that no longer serve them, creating energetic clutter that prevents new opportunities and resources from flowing in. The universe operates on a principle of balance, and in order to receive, you must be willing to let go of what no longer serves you. This process begins with decluttering your mind, emotions, and environment. Mental and emotional clutter can manifest as limiting beliefs, unresolved trauma, or unhealthy attachments to the past. These blockages act like walls that prevent new energy from entering your life. To dismantle these walls, you must first identify them. What beliefs do you hold about money, success, love, or happiness? Where do you feel stuck or unable to move forward. By identifying these limitations, you can begin to release them. This release can take many forms: forgiveness, letting go of resentment, clearing up mental space through meditation, or even journaling to express and release pent-up emotions. The process is not always easy, but it is necessary for creating room for new, abundant experiences. Another key area to declutter is your physical environment. Energy is fluid, and the spaces around you reflect your inner state. If your home or workspace is disorganized, it may reflect inner chaos or a lack of order in your life. Taking time to clean, organize, and remove items that no longer serve you creates a powerful shift. As you clear your space, you energetically signal to the universe that you are ready to receive more. Prosperity loves to move through clear pathways, and when you align your outer world with your inner desires, you create a harmonious flow of abundance. Trusting the universe, surrendering to the flow of abundance manifestation, is a co-creative process. While you must take inspired action and align your mindset with abundance, you also must surrender to the flow of the universe. The law of attraction is not about force. It's about allowing. It's about trusting that the universe knows the timing, the methods, and the path to your greatest good. Often, when we seek something intensely, we become attached to a specific outcome, or we try to control how and when it will show up. This attachment creates resistance, which blocks the flow of abundance. The universe, however, operates with perfect timing. The key to unlocking its flow is letting go of the need to control how your desires manifest. Surrendering does not mean passivity. It does not mean sitting back and waiting for things to fall into your lap. Rather, it means trusting in the process and allowing life to unfold as it will, while you remain aligned with your desires. It's like planting a seed. After you've done the work of planting, watering, and nurturing, you must trust that the seed will grow in its own time. You don't stand over the plant, shouting at it to grow faster. You allow it the space to flourish. Similarly, when you manifest, trust that everything is unfolding in divine order, even if it doesn't happen as quickly or in the exact way you expected. This trust also involves embracing the unknown. Manifesting is not always a clear-cut process, and sometimes the universe will present you with detours or unexpected opportunities that may not align with your original plan. These detours are not signs that you are off track. They are often the universe's way of guiding you towards something even better. By releasing attachment to specific outcomes and trusting in the larger plan, you open yourself to experiences that you may not have imagined, but are perfect for your growth. The flow of abundance is constant and infinite, always available to those who align with it. To tap into this flow, you must first shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance, then create the space for prosperity to enter, and finally, surrender to the process of manifestation. When you do this, the universe responds with infinite possibilities, providing everything you need to fulfill your desires. Abundance is not a destination to reach. It is a state of being to embody. And when you step into that state, the universe will mirror your prosperity in countless ways. Chapter 7. The Law of Alignment, Harmonizing Your Energy with Your Desires. Understanding alignment. Energy as the bridge between desire and manifestation. Alignment is a critical yet often misunderstood aspect of manifestation. In simple terms, alignment is the state where your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions harmonize with your desires. This alignment is not merely about wishing for something and hoping it will materialize. It is about becoming a vibrational match to what you want to create. The universe operates on energy, and everything in existence vibrates at a specific frequency. Your thoughts and emotions are no exception. They emit frequencies that attract similar energies into your life. Thus, in order to manifest what you desire, you must align your energy with the energy of that desire. The idea of alignment can be compared to tuning a musical instrument. If you want to play a perfect note, your instrument must be tuned to the right pitch. Similarly, if you want to manifest a specific outcome, you must tune your thoughts, feelings, and actions to the frequency of that outcome. For example, if you desire financial abundance, you must align your thoughts and feelings with the energy of abundance, believing in your worthiness to receive, feeling gratitude for the money that already exists in your life, and taking actions that reflect your abundance mindset. If your internal state is in disharmony with your desires, you will experience resistance and manifestation will be delayed or blocked. Understanding this concept is essential for anyone who seeks to manifest their desires. It means that manifestation is not a passive process. It is an active, energetic exchange. When you align with your desires, the universe begins to mirror your internal state by bringing circumstances, opportunities, and people into your life that match the frequency you are emitting. Alignment, then, is the key that unlocks the door to your dreams. It is the energetic bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. By consciously aligning your inner world with your desired outcome, you step into the flow of creation and allow the universe to work in your favor. Cultivating alignment through self-awareness and introspection. Achieving alignment requires deep self-awareness and introspection. This process involves looking inward and honestly assessing your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. Most people go through life unconsciously, operating on autopilot based on past experiences, societal conditioning, and inherited beliefs. These unconscious patterns often create misalignment between your desires and your energy. To achieve alignment, you must first uncover and address these limiting beliefs and thought patterns that hold you back. Begin by taking the time to understand your relationship with yourself and with your desires. Ask yourself, what beliefs do I have about success, love, abundance, and happiness? Do I believe I am worthy of these things? Or do I carry the hidden belief that I do not deserve them? What fears or insecurities arise when I think about pursuing my desires? These questions are crucial because they help you uncover the subconscious blocks that prevent alignment. Often, our subconscious beliefs are the result of childhood experiences, societal influences, or past traumas that we carry into adulthood without even realizing it. These beliefs shape the way we perceive the world and influence our behavior in ways that either support or hinder our manifestations. Once you have identified these limiting beliefs, the next step is to transform them. This can be done through various techniques, such as affirmations, visualization, and cognitive reframing. Affirmations help reprogram your mind by replacing negative or limiting thoughts with empowering ones. Visualization allows you to vividly imagine yourself already living your desired reality, which aligns your emotional state with that vision. Cognitive reframing involves consciously changing the meaning of an experience, allowing you to release old emotional patterns and embrace new, supportive beliefs. Through consistent introspection and self-awareness, you begin to cultivate an internal environment that supports your desires, creating a strong foundation for alignment. The power of inspired action, moving beyond thought to manifestation. While alignment is essential, it is only one piece of the puzzle. To truly bring your desires into reality, you must take inspired action. Inspired action is different from forced or rushed action. It is action that comes from a place of clarity, passion, and alignment. When you are aligned with your desires, you will naturally feel compelled to act in ways that support the manifestation process. This is where the universe works with you. Once you have tuned your energy to the frequency of your desires, the path forward will unfold naturally. The key is to trust your intuition and take steps that feel right in the moment, even if they don't always make logical sense at first. Taking inspired action means following the nudges and insights that arise from within you. This could manifest as a sudden urge to reach out to someone, take a different route home, or apply for a job you hadn't considered before. These seemingly small actions when followed through with intention, lead to synchronicities and opportunities that align with your desires. Manifestation is not just about sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It is about being actively involved in the creation process. The universe cannot work with you if you are sitting idly. You must take action that reflects your commitment to your goals, even when the path is not yet clear. Inspired action also requires trust. There will be moments of uncertainty when you don't know exactly how things will unfold or when your desires will manifest. During these moments, it's crucial to stay in alignment, remain patient, and continue to take small steps forward. Trust that the universe is working in your favor, and know that every action you take is bringing you closer to your manifestation. Inspired action is an expression of your faith in the process of creation. By taking aligned steps, you reinforce your commitment to your desires and strengthen your connection to the creative energy of the universe. Alignment is the foundation of all successful manifestation. It is the act of harmonizing your inner world with the desires you wish to create in your outer world. To align with your desires, you must first understand the energetic nature of the universe and the importance of becoming a vibrational match to your goals. This requires deep self-awareness, introspection, and the willingness to release old beliefs and patterns that no longer serve you. Once you are aligned, the universe will begin to bring people, opportunities, and circumstances into your life that match your frequency. But alignment alone is not enough. You must also take inspired action to bring your desires to fruition. By trusting the process, staying committed to your goals, and following your intuition, you can manifest the life you truly desire. Alignment is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing practice of tuning your energy to match the world you wish to create. Chapter 8. The Power of Belief, Shaping Your Reality from the Inside Out. Belief as the key to creation. How your thoughts shape your world. Belief is one of the most powerful forces in the process of manifestation. At its core, belief is the internal narrative that shapes how we perceive ourselves, the world around us, and the potential we have to create our desires. The beliefs you hold about your own capabilities, your worthiness, and the possibilities of the universe directly influence your experiences and the reality you create. If you believe that you are unworthy of love, success, or happiness, this belief will become a self-fulfilling prophecy, causing you to make choices that align with these limiting thoughts. On the other hand, if you believe that you are deserving of all the abundance life has to offer, you open yourself to receiving it in ways that may surprise you. Your beliefs are not abstract concepts. They are deeply embedded in your subconscious mind, guiding your actions, shaping your emotions, and influencing how you interact with the world. The mind works as a powerful filter, processing information based on the beliefs you have formed over your lifetime. These beliefs are formed through early experiences, societal conditioning, and personal reflections. Whether consciously or unconsciously, your mind uses these beliefs to interpret the world around you, shaping how you respond to situations, relationships, and opportunities. As a result, the reality you experience is a direct reflection of the beliefs you hold. Changing your reality, then, requires changing your beliefs. If you desire to create a life full of abundance, success, and fulfillment, you must first examine the beliefs that are standing in the way of your desires. Are there beliefs that are limiting your potential? Do you believe that achieving your dreams is too difficult, that the universe is working against you, or that success is reserved for others? These beliefs can be the very blockages that prevent you from manifesting the reality you want. But the good news is that beliefs are not set in stone. They can be changed. By shifting your beliefs, you shift the very foundation of your reality. The power of belief is that it directly influences the actions you take and the energy you emit. When you believe in your potential, you begin to act in alignment with that belief, and the universe begins to mirror your confidence and energy back to you. Reprogramming your mind, replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Reprogramming your beliefs is the key to transforming your life and unlocking your full manifestation potential. The first step in this process is to identify the limiting beliefs that are currently operating in your subconscious mind. These beliefs often go unnoticed because they have been with you for so long that they feel like truth. They may show up as negative self-talk, doubts, or fears that prevent you from taking action toward your goals. To begin the process of reprogramming, you must first become aware of these thoughts and beliefs. This requires introspection and self-awareness, as many of these limiting beliefs are deeply rooted in the subconscious. Once you have identified the limiting beliefs that are holding you back, the next step is to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this belief based on fact, or is it a result of fear or past experiences? For example, if you believe that you will never be able to achieve financial success, ask yourself, what evidence do I have to support this belief? Is there a possibility that this belief is based on past failures, societal conditioning, or limiting narratives about money? By examining your beliefs in this way, you can begin to see them for what they are, limitations that are no longer serving you. Next, it's time to replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. This is where affirmations, visualization, and other mindset tools come into play. Affirmations are statements that you repeat to yourself in order to reprogram your subconscious mind. For instance, if you have a limiting belief about money, you could replace it with an affirmation such as, I am worthy of financial abundance, and money flows to me easily and effortlessly. By repeating this affirmation regularly, you begin to shift your thought patterns and align your energy with the belief that financial success is not only possible, but inevitable. Visualization is another powerful tool for reprogramming your beliefs. By vividly imagining yourself living the life you desire, you begin to create new neural pathways in your brain that support this vision. See yourself already achieving your goals, whether it's experiencing financial abundance, finding true love, or manifesting success in your career. As you engage all of your senses in this visualization process, you strengthen your belief in your ability to manifest your desires. The more you visualize and affirm your new empowering beliefs, the more your subconscious mind begins to accept them as truth. The role of consistency, making belief a daily practice. Changing your beliefs is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process that requires consistency and commitment. Just as it took time for your limiting beliefs to take root, it will take time for your new empowering beliefs to take hold and transform your life. Consistency is key in reprogramming your mind and reinforcing the new beliefs you are cultivating. Each day, you have the opportunity to strengthen your new beliefs through the thoughts you think, the actions you take, and the words you speak. Start by integrating your new beliefs into your daily routine. This can be done through the use of affirmations, journaling, and visualization. Take a few moments each day to affirm your worth, your potential, and your ability to create the life you desire. Write down your goals as well as the beliefs that support them. By consistently engaging in these practices, you begin to rewire your brain and create new thought patterns that are in alignment with your desires. Another important aspect of consistency is taking aligned action. Your beliefs must be supported by your actions in order to manifest your desires. If you believe that you are worthy of success, but you are not taking any steps toward your goals, your belief will remain theoretical rather than practical. By taking consistent action, you demonstrate your commitment to your beliefs and send a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to receive what you desire. Action also reinforces belief. Each step you take toward your goal builds your confidence and strengthens your faith in the manifestation process. Remember, consistency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up every day, even when things aren't progressing as quickly as you'd like, and continuing to reinforce your empowering beliefs. The universe responds to your energy, and when you consistently align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your desires, you create a magnetic field that draws those desires to you. The power of belief cannot be underestimated in the manifestation process. Your beliefs shape your reality by influencing the energy you emit and the actions you take. To manifest your desires, you must first examine the beliefs that are holding you back and replace them with empowering, positive beliefs. Reprogramming your mind takes time and consistency, but with persistent effort, you can reshape your internal narrative and align your energy with your goals. When you shift your beliefs, you shift your reality, creating the space for your desires to manifest effortlessly. By making belief a daily practice, you can continuously reinforce the new patterns of thought and action that lead to the life you've always desired. Chapter 9. The Law of Gratitude. Unlocking the Energy of Abundance. The transformative power of gratitude, a practice that shifts your energy. Gratitude is a powerful tool in the process of manifestation. At first glance, it might seem like a simple act, saying, "Thank you for the good things in your life," but its effects are profound. When you practice gratitude, you shift your energy from a place of lack and limitation to one of abundance and possibility. Gratitude opens up a channel to the universe, aligning your vibrations with the frequencies of abundance and attracting more of what you are thankful for into your life. This simple, yet transformative practice is not just about expressing appreciation for the things you already have, but also about training your mind to focus on the positive aspects of life, no matter how small they may seem. At its core, gratitude is an acknowledgement of the good that already exists in your life. This is crucial because, in the process of manifestation, the energy you emit is what you attract. If you are constantly focused on what you lack, whether it's financial security, love, health, or peace, you are inadvertently attracting more lack. The universe responds to the energy you put out, and when you radiate gratitude, you become a magnet for more blessings. In this sense, gratitude is not just a feeling, but a powerful vibration that aligns you with your desires. The more grateful you are, the more the universe responds by bringing you more to be thankful for. It is as if the universe is saying, "I see you appreciate what you have, so here is more for you." Gratitude shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance. It helps you to recognize that even in challenging times, there is something to be thankful for. Whether it's the lessons learned from adversity or the support you receive from loved ones. By focusing on what you have, rather than what you lack, you begin to retrain your mind to see the world through a lens of abundance. This shift in perspective can have a ripple effect on all areas of your life. As you practice gratitude regularly, you begin to notice more of the good things that surround you. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Once you shine the light of gratitude on your life, you begin to see the abundance that was always there, waiting for you to recognize it. Gratitude as a manifestation accelerator. How to use it to magnetize your desires. Gratitude is not just a passive act. It is an active force that can accelerate your manifestation process. When you combine gratitude with intention, it creates a powerful synergy that amplifies your ability to manifest your desires. The universe responds to the energy you put out, and when you express gratitude for what you already have, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready for more. This is a crucial step in the manifestation process. If you want to receive more, you must first express gratitude for what you already have. By doing so, you demonstrate that you are in alignment with the energy of abundance. In manifestation, gratitude serves as a powerful amplifier for your desires. Imagine you are a radio transmitter, and your desires are the signal you are broadcasting. Gratitude acts as the antenna that strengthens and amplifies the signal. The more gratitude you express, the clearer and stronger your signal becomes. When you are grateful for what you have, whether it's your current financial situation, relationships, health, or even the simple moments of joy in your day. You are sending a clear message to the universe. I am ready for more of this. Gratitude, therefore, accelerates the process of manifestation by increasing the intensity of your desires and aligning you with the energy of abundance. To make gratitude work for you in the manifestation process, it is important to practice it with intention. Don't just be grateful for the big things. Be grateful for the small, everyday moments as well. This creates a constant flow of positive energy that the universe can respond to. Start by taking a few moments each day to reflect on what you are thankful for. The more specific you can be in your gratitude, the more powerful it will be. For example, instead of just saying, I am grateful for my health, say, I am grateful for the strength and vitality that I feel in my body today. This level of specificity helps to amplify your gratitude and increase the clarity of your intentions. By combining gratitude with intention, you create a magnetic energy that draws your desires closer to you, allowing them to manifest with greater ease and speed. The daily practice of gratitude, cultivating a mindset of abundance. Gratitude is not just something you do when you feel like it. It is a mindset that must be cultivated through daily practice. The more you make gratitude a part of your everyday life, the more you begin to see its transformative effects. This daily practice does not need to be complicated. It can be as simple as setting aside a few moments each day to reflect on the things you are thankful for. Over time, this consistent practice will rewire your brain to focus on the positive aspects of your life, making you more aware of the abundance that already surrounds you. One of the most effective ways to cultivate a gratitude practice is to keep a gratitude journal. Each day, take a few moments to write down 3 to 5 things you are grateful for. These can be big or small. Perhaps you're grateful for a kind gesture from a friend, a moment of peace in your day, or the opportunity to work towards your goals. As you write down your gratitude, really take the time to feel the emotion behind it. The more emotion you attach to your gratitude, the more powerful the energy becomes. When you express genuine appreciation for the things you have, you are reinforcing the belief that you are worthy of receiving more. Another way to incorporate gratitude into your daily life is to practice it in the present moment. Instead of waiting for something big to be thankful for, find gratitude in the everyday experiences that make up your life. When you wake up in the morning, express gratitude for the opportunity to begin a new day. When you eat a meal, be thankful for the nourishment it provides. When you interact with others, express gratitude for their presence in your life. The more you practice gratitude in these small moments, the more you begin to shift your energy toward abundance. This constant focus on gratitude helps to strengthen your connection to the universe and aligns you with the vibration of abundance. By making gratitude a daily practice, you begin to reprogram your mind and your energy. You start to notice the positive aspects of your life more frequently, which creates a powerful momentum that draws more of what you desire into your reality. Gratitude not only shifts your energy, but also helps you stay grounded in the present moment, preventing you from getting caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. It's a practice that keeps you connected to the beauty of the present and the abundance that is always available to you. Gratitude is more than just a practice. It is a powerful tool for manifestation. By focusing on what you have and expressing appreciation for it, you align yourself with the energy of abundance and open the door to receiving more. Gratitude accelerates your manifestation process by amplifying your desires and increasing the clarity of your intentions. The more you practice gratitude, the more you strengthen your connection to the universe and magnetize the things you want into your life. By making gratitude a daily habit, you cultivate a mindset of abundance that attracts more of what you desire and allows you to live a life full of joy, peace, and fulfillment. Chapter 10. The Law of Alignment: How to Stay in Tune with Your Desires. Understanding the law of alignment, the connection between your inner state and outer reality. At the heart of manifestation lies the law of alignment. This law asserts that to manifest your desires, you must align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with what you truly want. The universe is always in a state of constant motion, and so are you. The law of alignment dictates that your personal energy must resonate with the energy of the things you wish to create. In other words, if you want to manifest a life of abundance, love, and peace, you must cultivate an inner state that reflects those qualities. This inner alignment is what bridges the gap between your current reality and the life you desire. When you are aligned with your desires, you are in a state of energetic coherence, which allows the universe to respond with the circumstances, opportunities, and people that match your vibrational frequency. Think of it like a radio station. If you want to tune into a specific channel, you need to adjust the dial to match the frequency of that station. Similarly, to manifest your desires, you must adjust your energy to match the frequency of the things you want to bring into your life. Whether it's wealth, love, health, or personal success, the alignment of your inner world with your outer desires is key to making manifestation work in your favor. But alignment doesn't happen overnight. It is a practice that requires constant attention and effort. You cannot simply wish for something and expect it to appear without taking the necessary steps to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your desire. It's about bringing your energy into harmony with the energy of the universe. When your inner state is in alignment with the life you wish to create, you begin to attract the right circumstances, opportunities, and people. Everything in your life becomes easier because you are no longer working against the current. Instead, you are flowing with the natural rhythm of the universe. How to stay aligned, practicing self-awareness and consistency. The key to staying in alignment is self-awareness and consistency. It's easy to fall out of alignment when you are not paying attention to your thoughts and emotions. If you find yourself dwelling on negative thoughts or feeling stuck in a place of lack, it's essential to take a step back and recenter yourself. Self-awareness is the practice of observing your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without judgment. It's about understanding what triggers misalignment and being proactive in shifting back into alignment when needed. One of the most effective ways to stay aligned with your desires is through mindfulness and meditation. These practices help you become more aware of your thoughts and feelings and create a space of stillness where you can reconnect with your true self. In the quiet moments of meditation, you can realign your thoughts with your desires, letting go of any negative or limiting beliefs that may be holding you back. Meditation allows you to tune into your inner guidance and reconnect with your inner power, which is essential for staying in alignment with your goals. Another important practice for maintaining alignment is gratitude. As we discussed earlier, gratitude is not just about acknowledging what you already have. It's also about aligning yourself with the vibration of abundance. By consistently practicing gratitude, you shift your energy from lack to abundance, ensuring that you remain in alignment with the positive outcomes you desire. The more grateful you are for the present moment and the blessings you already have, the more you will attract into your life. Gratitude acts as a powerful tool for recentering your energy and keeping you aligned with your goals, especially when you feel yourself slipping into negative patterns of thought. Consistency is also crucial in the alignment process. The more consistent you are in practicing alignment techniques like mindfulness, meditation, and gratitude, the stronger your connection to your desires will become. It's easy to fall out of alignment when life gets busy or when challenges arise, but it's during these times that staying aligned is the most important. It's about choosing to remain focused on your desired outcome, no matter what external circumstances may arise. By staying consistent in your practices, you will continue to draw your desires toward you, even during difficult times. The impact of misalignment: how to recognize and correct the disconnect. Misalignment occurs when there is a disconnect between your inner state and the outer reality you are trying to create. This can manifest as feelings of frustration, resistance, or confusion. When you are misaligned, it can feel as though nothing is going right. Your manifestations seem to be delayed or blocked, and you might start to doubt your ability to create the life you desire. This is often a sign that something in your energy needs to be adjusted. One of the most common signs of misalignment is a sense of resistance. When you are resisting something, whether it's a situation, a person, or a part of your journey, you are essentially blocking the flow of energy. Resistance creates friction, and this friction prevents you from aligning with the vibration of your desires. To correct this, you need to identify the source of your resistance and work through it. Often, resistance is rooted in fear, doubt, or limiting beliefs. If you are afraid of success, for example, you may subconsciously sabotage your efforts to manifest your desires. If you doubt your worthiness, you may block the flow of abundance into your life. Another sign of misalignment is when things feel like they are not flowing, or when you encounter constant obstacles. Manifestation is meant to be a process of ease and flow. When you are aligned with your desires, everything seems to fall into place effortlessly. If you find yourself constantly struggling, it may be time to reassess your thoughts and beliefs. Are you in alignment with the energy of abundance, or are you stuck in a mindset of scarcity or limitation? Are you taking actions that are in harmony with your desires, or are you acting from a place of fear or doubt? When you recognize the signs of misalignment, you can take steps to correct it. To correct misalignment, the first step is awareness. Once you recognize that you are out of alignment, it's important to take a moment to check in with yourself. Reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Are they in harmony with your desires? If not, ask yourself what changes you need to make. This could involve shifting your mindset, adjusting your actions, or even letting go of beliefs that no longer serve you. Remember, the process of manifestation is not about forcing things to happen. It's about aligning yourself with the natural flow of energy. When you correct the misalignment and return to a place of flow, your desires will begin to materialize with ease. Alignment is the foundation of manifestation. To create the life you desire, you must ensure that your inner state is in harmony with the desires you wish to manifest. By practicing self-awareness, consistency, and gratitude, you can stay in alignment with your goals and accelerate your manifestation process. On the other hand, recognizing and correcting misalignment is equally important. When you experience resistance, frustration, or obstacles, take it as a sign to realign your energy. Remember, the universe responds to the energy you emit, and when you are in alignment with your desires, everything will flow effortlessly toward you. Chapter 11. The Law of Detachment, Letting Go and Trusting the Process. Understanding the law of detachment, releasing. Attachment to outcomes. Manifestation is not just about having desires and intentions. It is also about the art of letting go. This may sound counterintuitive, but the law of detachment emphasizes that in order to manifest effectively, you must release your attachment to specific outcomes. It is not the desire itself that holds you back. Rather, it is the attachment to how and when your desire will manifest that can create resistance in the process. When you become attached to a particular outcome, you are often trying to control the universe's timing and methods, which disrupts the flow of abundance into your life. The law of detachment teaches us that true manifestation comes from a place of trust and surrender. It is about allowing the universe to deliver your desires in the way that is best for you, instead of trying to force or predict how it will unfold. Attachment often stems from fear. Fear that what you desire won't come to you. Fear of failure. Fear of the unknown. These fears create an energetic block that prevents you from receiving what you want. When you cling to the outcome of your desires, you are essentially saying to the universe, "I don't trust you to bring this to me, so I will try to control how it happens." This energy of resistance creates a negative cycle, where your manifestation efforts become focused on the lack of what you want rather than on the abundant possibilities that are available to you. To break free from this cycle, you must learn to practice detachment and trust the process. The true power of the law of detachment lies in your ability to release control and remain open to the many different ways that your desires can manifest. Instead of focusing on a single rigid path, you must remain flexible, knowing that there are countless possibilities for how your desires can come into your life. When you detach from the how and when, you allow space for the universe to surprise you with better outcomes than you could have imagined. Detachment is not about giving up on your dreams. It is about surrendering the need to control how they will manifest. The more you let go, the more room you create for magic and unexpected blessings to enter your life. How to practice detachment, the role of trust and surrender. Now that we understand what detachment is and why it is important, the next step is learning how to practice it. The first key to practicing detachment is building trust in the process. Trusting the universe is essential in manifestation because it allows you to release your fears and anxieties about whether or not your desires will come to fruition. When you trust, you stop doubting and start believing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Trusting the process means that you have faith in the timing of the universe, even if it doesn't align with your own timeline. You acknowledge that there are forces greater than you at work, and these forces are always working in your favor. To build trust, it is helpful to reflect on past experiences where things worked out for you, even when you didn't know how they would. Remember times when you were uncertain about your future, but things eventually fell into place. These memories can serve as a reminder that the universe has always been guiding you, even when you didn't fully understand the process. By revisiting these moments of faith and trust, you reinforce the belief that everything is working for your highest good. Surrender is another essential aspect of detachment. Surrendering does not mean giving up on your dreams or resigning yourself to a life of mediocrity. It means letting go of the need to control every aspect of your journey. It's about recognizing that the universe has a plan for you that may be even more beautiful and fulfilling than anything you could have imagined. When you surrender, you release the need for perfection, the need for everything to unfold in a certain way. You allow yourself to flow with the natural rhythm of life, trusting that every twist and turn serves a purpose in your personal growth and manifestation. You can practice surrender by setting your intentions clearly and then letting go of the outcome. One powerful way to practice this is through affirmations. Every day, remind yourself that you are open to receiving your desires in the most unexpected and abundant ways. Say to yourself, "I trust the universe to bring me what is best for me. I release the need to control how and when it will come. I am open to infinite possibilities, and I trust the process." The benefits of detachment, embracing peace, freedom, and flow. The benefits of practicing detachment are vast and transformative. When you detach from the need for a specific outcome, you create space for peace and freedom in your life. Instead of constantly feeling anxious about whether your desires will manifest, you begin to experience a deep sense of inner peace. This peace comes from knowing that everything is unfolding as it should, and that you are not responsible for forcing or controlling the outcome. When you trust the universe and detach from the outcome, you release the burden of carrying all the responsibility. You become free to live your life with joy and gratitude, knowing that your desires are already on their way. Detachment also leads to greater flow in your life. When you are not clinging to a particular outcome, you are able to flow with the natural current of the universe. This flow brings more ease and less resistance. You stop pushing against the current and start moving with it. You begin to experience synchronicities and unexpected opportunities that guide you toward your goals. When you let go, you allow the universe to provide you with everything you need at the perfect moment. Your desires will come to you effortlessly because you are no longer in a state of resistance. Perhaps the most profound benefit of detachment is the deep sense of freedom it brings. when you no longer feel the need to control the outcome, you free yourself from the grip of fear and anxiety. You can relax, knowing that you don't have to work tirelessly or exhaust yourself in the pursuit of your dreams. Detachment allows you to enjoy the journey, rather than being obsessed with the destination. It reminds you that life is about the experiences you have along the way, not just the final result. By practicing detachment, you embrace the beauty of the present moment, knowing that your desires are on their way, even if you don't yet see them. In conclusion, the law of detachment is an essential component of the manifestation process. By letting go of attachment to specific outcomes, you allow the universe to bring you what you truly want in the most abundant and unexpected ways. The more you practice detachment, the more peace, freedom, and flow you will experience in your life. Trust the process, surrender to the universe's timing, and embrace the beauty of letting go. When you do this, your desires will come to you effortlessly, and you will discover a life that is more fulfilling than you ever imagined. Chapter 12. The Power of Belief, Shaping Your Reality from Within. The foundation of belief, understanding its role in manifestation. In the realm of manifestation, belief is one of the most powerful forces you can harness. Beliefs are not just abstract ideas, they are the deep-seated convictions that shape your perception of reality. These beliefs act as filters through which you view the world, interpreting every situation and interaction based on what you have come to accept as true. Whether you realize it or not, your beliefs dictate every outcome you experience, as they shape the actions you take, the decisions you make, and the energy you radiate. The law of belief is a fundamental principle in manifestation. What you believe, you will create. When you begin to understand the profound role belief plays in your life, you realize that manifestation is not merely about wishing for things to happen. It is about aligning your inner beliefs with the outer results you want to see. Beliefs are like blueprints for your life, and they either empower you or hold you back. If you hold the belief that you are worthy of success, love, and abundance, you will attract these things into your life. Conversely, if you harbor beliefs of limitation or unworthiness, these will manifest as blocks or obstacles in your path. Your beliefs are your reality's architects. They shape the structure of your existence. It is essential to recognize that beliefs are not fixed. They are not inherent truths. They are learned and conditioned over time. Many of the beliefs you hold today are not yours by design, but are inherited from family, society, or past experiences. For example, if you were raised in an environment where scarcity and fear of failure were prevalent, you may unconsciously adopt beliefs that success is hard to attain, or that money is difficult to come by. These inherited beliefs can limit your ability to manifest abundance and success because they create subconscious resistance. To unlock your full potential, it is necessary to recognize these limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering, expansive ones that align with the reality you wish to create. Reprogramming your beliefs, changing your inner dialogue. The good news is that beliefs can be changed. Just as they were conditioned over time, they can be reconditioned to serve you in a more positive and empowering way. The process of changing your beliefs begins with becoming aware of them. This awareness allows you to question the beliefs that no longer serve your highest good. If you believe that you are not good enough to succeed, or that the world is not a safe place, these beliefs must be identified and replaced with more positive, affirming ones. Awareness is the first step to transformation. Without awareness, you remain on autopilot, acting out of unconscious beliefs that limit your potential. The next step is to consciously reprogram your beliefs. This is where the power of your thoughts and affirmations comes in. Affirmations are statements that declare the truth of the reality you wish to create. When you repeat affirmations consistently, you begin to shift your subconscious mind's programming. If you want to shift your belief about money, for example, you might repeat, "Money flows to me easily and effortlessly," or "I am worthy of abundance in all forms." These affirmations, when practiced daily, start to rewrite your inner dialogue and gradually replace old limiting beliefs with new empowering ones. Visualization is another powerful tool for reprogramming beliefs. By vividly imagining yourself living the life you desire, you create new neural pathways in your brain that reinforce your new beliefs. The more you visualize your desired reality, the more your subconscious mind will accept it as true. In time, these new beliefs will become ingrained, and you will begin to act in ways that reflect your new self-concept. The key is to be patient and consistent. Changing deeply rooted beliefs takes time, but with dedication, you can transform your reality by changing your internal landscape. Belief and the manifestation process, aligning inner and outer worlds. Once you begin to change your beliefs, you will notice a significant shift in your ability to manifest. Beliefs act as magnets for what you desire. When you believe in the possibility of your dreams coming true, you send out powerful vibrations into the universe. These vibrations attract situations, people, and opportunities that match your inner frequency. If you hold the belief that you can achieve anything, you will find that the universe begins to respond accordingly. The law of attraction operates in accordance with your beliefs. When you believe something is possible, you align your energy with it, and the universe will deliver it. The process of aligning your beliefs with your desired outcomes involves both the conscious and subconscious mind. On a conscious level, you actively choose the beliefs that align with your desires. On a subconscious level, your beliefs are constantly being reinforced by the thoughts, emotions, and actions you take. When you have a deep, unwavering belief that you can achieve something, you are more likely to take inspired action that brings you closer to your goal. Conversely, when you have doubts and limiting beliefs, your actions become hesitant, or you may even avoid opportunities that could bring you closer to your desires. A key aspect of the law of belief is that the universe does not differentiate between positive or negative beliefs. It simply responds to what you believe with absolute precision. If you believe that success is difficult, the universe will provide you with experiences that reinforce that belief. If you believe that abundance is limitless, the universe will bring you experiences of abundance. This is why it is crucial to identify and change limiting beliefs, so you can align your inner world with the external reality you wish to create. Your beliefs are the gateway to your manifestation. When you believe truly and deeply that your desires are possible, you will begin to see them materialize in your life. In conclusion, the law of belief is one of the most powerful laws of manifestation. Your beliefs shape the very foundation of your reality. By identifying and changing limiting beliefs, you can shift your perception and, ultimately, your outcomes. Reprogramming your beliefs takes time and effort, but it is a crucial step in creating the life you desire. The more you align your beliefs with your dreams, the more effortlessly they will manifest. Trust in the process, believe in yourself, and know that your reality is shaped from within. The moment you change your beliefs, you will change your world. Chapter 13. The Art of Inspired Action, Moving from Intention to Reality. The importance of inspired action in manifestation. Manifestation is not a passive process. It requires active participation. Many people mistakenly believe that if they simply think about their desires, they will magically come into being. While the power of thought and belief is crucial, manifestation demands that you take inspired action to bring your desires into the physical world. Inspired action is not just any action. It is the kind of action that feels aligned with your intentions, energized by your belief in your goals, and guided by a deep sense of purpose. This action is the vehicle that carries your intentions into reality. Without it, even the most powerful intentions can remain stagnant, never materializing into tangible outcomes. Taking inspired action means acting from a place of clarity, focus, and trust. It is not about rushing or forcing things into existence. It is about responding to the subtle guidance that arises when you are aligned with your desires. Inspired action is often spontaneous, intuitive, and effortless. It feels like the next logical step to take in the flow of your life, and it is always in harmony with your inner purpose. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, provides you with opportunities, signs, and synchronicities that guide you towards your goals. Your job is to notice these cues and take action when they arise, even if the next step feels uncertain or uncomfortable. When you are aligned with your purpose, the action you take will be infused with energy and intention, leading you closer to your manifestation. The distinction between inspired action and regular action is that inspired action comes with a sense of inner guidance and clarity. Regular action, on the other hand, may feel forced, disconnected, or based on fear or external pressure. It is important to recognize the difference. Inspired action flows with ease and grace, while forced action often feels like a struggle. By tuning into your intuition and trusting the process, you allow yourself to act from a place of alignment, knowing that every step you take brings you closer to your desired outcome. Overcoming fear and doubt, stepping into courageous action. Fear and doubt are natural parts of the human experience, especially when you are pursuing something new or unfamiliar. They arise when you step out of your comfort zone, challenge old beliefs, or attempt to create something beyond what you have experienced before. However, fear and doubt are not necessarily signs that you should stop moving forward. On the contrary, they often signal that you are on the verge of growth and transformation. The key is not to eliminate fear and doubt entirely, but to learn how to move forward in spite of them. This is where courageous action comes into play. Courageous action is the act of moving forward despite fear and uncertainty. It involves acknowledging your fears, but choosing to act in alignment with your goals, regardless of how you feel in the moment. It is normal to feel fear when you are venturing into the unknown. It is normal to doubt yourself when you are striving for something that seems out of reach. What matters is that you do not let these feelings paralyze you. Instead, you use them as fuel to push through and take the next step, knowing that each step forward brings you closer to your desired outcome. The process of overcoming fear involves reframing it. Rather than seeing fear as something to avoid, you can see it as a natural part of the manifestation journey. Fear often arises when you are about to make a significant shift in your life, when you are about to let go of old habits, beliefs, or ways of being. It is a sign that you are stepping into a new chapter, one that is filled with potential and possibility. The key is not to be overwhelmed by the fear, but to acknowledge it and take action anyway. By doing so, you begin to build resilience and confidence, reinforcing your belief in yourself and your ability to manifest your desires. Trusting the process, letting go of control and allowing flow. One of the most important aspects of taking inspired action is learning to trust the process. Many people struggle with manifestation because they try to control every aspect of their journey, from how things will unfold to when they will happen. However, this desire for control often creates resistance, blocking the flow of manifestation. To manifest effectively, you must learn to let go of the need for control and trust that the universe has a plan for you. Trusting the process means surrendering your attachment to the outcome and allowing things to unfold in their own time. It is about having faith that every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your goals. When you release the need for control, you open yourself up to receiving what the universe has in store for you. This does not mean you stop taking action. It simply means that you are no longer attached to a specific result. Instead, you allow yourself to move forward with a sense of ease, knowing that everything is working out for your highest good. One way to cultivate trust is to reflect on past experiences where things have worked out in your favor, even when you didn't know how they would. Remember times in your life when you took inspired action, even though the outcome was uncertain, and everything turned out better than you expected. By recalling these moments, you reinforce your trust in the process and in your ability to manifest your desires. Trust is a muscle that needs to be exercised regularly. The more you trust in the unfolding of your journey, the more you will find that the universe responds with synchronicities, opportunities, and support. Inspired action is the key to turning your dreams into reality. Manifestation is not about sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It is about actively participating in the process and moving forward with faith and confidence. By taking inspired, courageous action and trusting the process, you align yourself with the flow of the universe and open the door to endless possibilities. Remember that the law of creation is not a passive force. It is a dynamic, interactive process that requires your involvement. The more you step into your power and take inspired action, the more you will see your desires manifest before your eyes. Trust the journey. Take the next step and know that the universe is supporting you every step of the way. Chapter 14. Becoming the Creator. Living as a Manifestation Master. Embodying the Creator identity. To reach the final evolution of the law of creation is to step fully into your role as a conscious creator. This is not merely a concept or belief. It is a living identity, an energetic frequency that radiates through everything you are, think, do, and attract. Embodying the creator identity is not about occasional practices or intermittent focus. It's about internalizing the awareness that you are the source of your reality. When you reach this level of embodiment, you no longer ask if manifestation works. You no longer waver between belief and doubt. You exist in a state of certainty. You have seen the evidence, lived the transformations, and become intimately familiar with the energetic and practical mechanics of creation. The shift is profound, like awakening from a dream and realizing you were the dreamer all along. Life stops happening to you and begins to unfold from you. The embodiment of the Creator is rooted in emotional mastery. You learn that your state of being precedes and informs the world you interact with. Emotions are no longer dismissed as inconvenient feelings to be managed, but are recognized as potent indicators of alignment or misalignment. Instead of reacting impulsively, the Creator learns to respond consciously. Fear becomes a signal for expansion. Doubt becomes a nudge toward deeper inner inquiry. Frustration becomes a moment to realign with your power. This level of awareness does not arise overnight. It is cultivated through repeated moments of presence, honest self-reflection, and the unwavering decision to no longer outsource power to anything outside of you. As you begin to wear the identity of a creator, like a second skin, you find that life mirrors back your inner convictions with startling accuracy. The most potent creators are not those who have eliminated every challenge, but those who have become so grounded in their creative identity that challenges are simply new canvases. They don't panic when things don't go as planned. They adapt, adjust, and realign, always coming back to the truth that they are the architect. This mastery brings with it a quiet confidence, not arrogance, but an unshakable poise that emanates from within. You trust your timing, you trust your process, and most importantly, you trust your ability to shift reality through focused intention and congruent action. Embodying this identity isn't just a mindset, it's a frequency. It's a presence that speaks louder than words, and as you carry it forward into your daily life, others sense it, often without knowing why. Mastering alignment across all areas of life. True manifestation mastery does not apply only to one area, like wealth or relationships, but becomes a pervasive alignment across all dimensions of your life. This chapter of your evolution invites you to no longer compartmentalize your power. It is easy to believe in manifestation when it comes to the things you've succeeded in before. But the Master Creator understands that the same laws govern all aspects of reality. Whether you are creating financial abundance, deep love, radiant health, or soul-aligned work, the principles remain unchanged. Energy, belief, focus, and aligned action. At this level, life becomes a symphony of alignment. Each area, body, mind, relationships, purpose, and environment, becomes tuned to the same frequency of creation. You are no longer satisfied with success in only one domain. You crave and rightfully claim wholeness. When you master alignment, you become sensitive to energy imbalances. You can walk into a room and sense disharmony before anyone speaks. You can scan your thoughts and know when a belief needs to be updated. You feel when your body is out of sync and respond with care rather than avoidance. This level of energetic refinement requires deep honesty. There is no bypassing. There is no spiritual masking. The Creator does not run from contrast. They investigate it with curiosity. Every misalignment becomes a doorway to greater clarity. Every unmet desire becomes a compass, pointing toward the next layer of personal integration. There is no shame in misalignment, only information. This mindset shift is what liberates you from the loop of guilt and self-judgment and places you firmly in the realm of growth and responsibility. Mastery of alignment also brings about an intuitive lifestyle. You are no longer making decisions solely with logic, but are guided by inner knowing. You feel when to act and when to wait. You sense which people nourish your vision and which drain your energy. You discern which opportunities are aligned and which are distractions. This inner compass becomes sharper the more you honor it. And as you do, life becomes almost magical. Not because there is no effort, but because effort is now aligned, graceful, and rewarding. In this phase, alignment is not a task to manage. It is a way of being. It is embedded in your speech, your posture, your decisions, and your relationships. It is this level of deep integrated congruence that allows manifestations to unfold with astonishing speed and clarity. Sustaining your creative power over time. Perhaps the most overlooked quality of a true master manifester is sustainability. Anyone can focus for a week. Anyone can visualize for a month. But those who live in the continual flow of creation are those who develop practices, mindsets, and habits that support long-term alignment. Sustaining your creative power means understanding that manifestation is not a one-time event. It's a way of life. You are not here to manifest one car, one partner, or one job. You are here to become a consistent conduit for creation. This requires rhythm, discipline, and intentional renewal. You don't wait until you burn out to recalibrate. You build in restoration. You don't wait for confusion to seek clarity. You make reflection a part of your daily rhythm. The sustainable creator builds a support system for their vision. They curate environments that reflect who they are becoming, not who they were. They surround themselves with conversations that reinforce possibility, not limitation. They consume content that uplifts their frequency, not lowers it. This is not about perfection. It's about conscious construction. You choose your influences with discernment. You protect your energy like a sacred currency. You understand that every piece of your world is either adding to or subtracting from your creative reservoir. Sustainability is also about knowing when to pause, when to breathe, when to step back and listen rather than push forward. You begin to recognize that stillness is not the opposite of creation. It is a vital part of it. The pause is often where the most profound recalibrations occur. Lastly, sustaining your creative power means leaving room for evolution. You must be willing to let go of past visions that no longer fit your expanded self. Sometimes the most aligned action is to release what once worked in order to make space for what now calls you forward. A sustainable creator is not rigid. They are fluid. They don't attach their worth to one outcome. Their identity is not locked into a single role, business, or plan. They remain rooted in their power while staying flexible in their methods. This paradox of rootedness and fluidity is the final mastery. You become unstoppable, not because you never fall, but because you know how to rise, recenter, and recreate over and over again. You have arrived at the summit of your journey through the law of creation. This is not the end, but the beginning of a new chapter, one where you live as the embodiment of everything you have learned. The truths explored in this audiobook were never outside of you. They have always been within, waiting to be remembered, claimed, and expressed. The process of creation is not something to be mastered once and forgotten. It is a living, breathing relationship between you and the universe. It is a daily dance of intention, alignment, action, and trust. As you move forward, carry this truth with you. You are the author of your life. The pen is in your hand. The canvas is infinite, and the masterpiece you are here to create is waiting for your touch. Walk forward, not as a seeker, but as a creator. You are no longer waiting for signs. You are the sign. No longer chasing outcomes. You are the magnet. No longer hoping for miracles. You are the miracle. Now is the time to stop reading and start manifesting real results. Chapter 15. The Infinite Loop, Creation as a Way of Life. The end is the beginning, sustained manifestation. As you arrive at this final chapter, a quiet realization may begin to stir within you. The journey of creation doesn't conclude at a goal reached, a vision fulfilled, or a desire made manifest. Those milestones are not endpoints, they are doorways. Each manifestation births not only a new reality, but a new identity, a new question, and a new longing. This is the paradox and the beauty of creative living. The moment you arrive, you also begin again. Sustained manifestation is not about achieving and halting, but rather evolving and expanding. Most people believe that the act of manifestation is linear. You identify a desire, visualize it, align your emotions and actions, and eventually you arrive at a tangible result. But true creators understand that this journey is a cycle, a dynamic spiral where every fulfillment is a launch pad for higher consciousness. It requires the courage to keep becoming, the humility to accept that there is always more to learn, and the wisdom to know that the highest purpose of creation is not the thing you manifest, but the person you become through the process. You become the custodian of your own expansion. It's not uncommon for people to achieve one dream and then feel a strange emptiness. It's not failure, nor is it dissatisfaction. It's the soul's gentle whisper that you are not here to stagnate. Life was never meant to be lived in still frames, but in motion pictures. Creation as a way of life means falling in love with growth itself, with the dance between desire and surrender, with knowing that every level of reality invites you into a deeper intimacy with yourself. This understanding reshapes your entire approach to success. It's no longer about reaching a mountaintop and planting your flag. It's about savoring every step of the climb, every shift in terrain, every breathless moment when the view takes your breath away. When you begin to see manifestation as a living rhythm, rather than a static destination, you free yourself from the pressure of arriving. You fall into alignment with the eternal truth. The universe is not asking you to become someone else. It is inviting you to unfold all that you already are. Mastery of inner reality, the Creator's daily practice. The world you experience on the outside is nothing more than a mirror held up to the world within. This principle, though often repeated, is rarely lived at its fullest depth. To master your reality, you must become masterful with your thoughts, your emotional vibrations, and the beliefs you rehearse every day. This is not achieved by accident. It requires intention, practice, and reverence for the unseen. If you wake each morning and immediately surrender your awareness to chaos, noise, or the narratives of others, you relinquish the authorship of your day. The Creator's path demands conscious initiation, whether through stillness, meditation, movement, or breath work, your first act of each day should be to remember who you are and whose reality you're sculpting. This is not a ritual of control, but of alignment. The purpose is not to force the universe into submission, but to bring yourself into harmony with its pulse. A master of inner reality cultivates a sacred boundary around their energy. They do not allow circumstance to define mood, nor do they let fleeting emotions steer their decisions. They feel deeply, but they are not ruled by feeling. They trust their intuition, but balance it with clarity. Most importantly, they refuse to outsource their power. To walk as a true creator means to claim ownership of your internal landscape, tending to your thoughts like a gardener tends to soil, uprooting the weeds of scarcity and planting seeds of abundance again and again. The practice is not glamorous. It's often quiet, personal, and misunderstood by those still enslaved to reaction. But its results are undeniable. Over time, your outer world bends to the shape of your inner mastery. Synchronicities multiply, resistance lessens, and what once seemed magical becomes normal. This is not coincidence. It is coherence. When your mind, heart, and soul sing in unison, creation flows without interruption. Part of this daily mastery involves releasing attachments. The more deeply you create, the more you must surrender. This seems contradictory, but it is foundational. Clinging too tightly to outcomes introduces tension, fear, and doubt, distorting the very frequency that was meant to call your vision into being. The creator walks the delicate line between focus and flow. You hold the vision, yes, but with open hands. You affirm it, but you do not beg. You trust the unfolding, even when it takes longer than expected. Your role is not to micromanage the how, but to nurture the why within your soul and allow the universe to respond in kind. The daily practice of surrender is not passive. It's deeply active. It is the act of choosing peace over control, trust over desperation, love over fear. This is the unseen work behind every seen miracle, becoming the embodiment, living as the law. The most profound form of manifestation is not external. It is the embodiment of the Creator's identity. All teachings, all techniques, all disciplines eventually point to this truth. You must become the vibration of what you seek. This means going beyond practice and into being. It is no longer enough to do manifestation. You must live it, breathe it, embody it in every interaction, decision, and belief. Becoming the law means letting go of the persona that hoped to manifest something and stepping fully into the self who already is. This is not an act of arrogance, but of spiritual authority. It is not fantasy. It is a recognition that the external world reflects the consciousness you stabilize. If you believe you are loved, worthy, creative, and abundant, then the world has no choice but to echo that belief back to you. But embodiment is not performance. It's not pretending to be what you are not. It's remembering what you are beneath the conditioning, fears, and social programming. This process of remembrance often feels like shedding old habits, outdated roles, unspoken agreements, and stories that no longer resonate. Embodiment requires bravery, for it means choosing authenticity even when it's uncomfortable. You must walk differently, speak differently, even think differently, not because someone told you to, but because you now see yourself as a creator, not a passive participant in life. The change may feel subtle at first. You may notice yourself responding to challenges with a new calm. You may catch limiting thoughts before they grow roots. You may sense a greater ease, a flow that was once elusive now becoming natural. This is embodiment. The law is no longer something you use. It is who you are. And as this becomes your reality, you begin to influence others not through force, but through frequency. Your presence becomes a transmission. Your joy becomes contagious. Your clarity becomes magnetic. You are no longer seeking signs. You become the sign. The universe moves through you because you are no longer in resistance. You are not trying to create. You are allowing creation to express itself through your life. In this state, manifestation accelerates not because you chase it harder, but because you are aligned with its source. You are the source. Every step you take radiates intention. Every word you speak carries power. Every breath you draw is sacred. This is not an end. It is a beginning. The law is not a tool. It is a way of being. You are not reading this to remember facts. You are reading to remember your divinity. Chapter 16. Multidimensional Manifestation. Manifesting health, wealth, and relationships together. The myth of compartmentalized success is one of the greatest lies taught in the world of manifestation. People are often told, whether subtly or overtly, that they must choose a lane, that if they want to be wealthy, they must sacrifice health, that if they desire a deep relationship, they might have to let go of professional success, or that physical vitality is somehow at odds with financial or emotional abundance. This fragmented thinking is not only flawed, but entirely counter to the universal nature of true creation. Manifestation is not a game of trade-offs, but of total energetic congruence. You are not a fractured being. You are an integrated field of consciousness, and when that field becomes coherent across all levels, the manifestations of health, wealth, and relationships arrive not as isolated events, but as synchronized expressions of one unified self. What must be understood is that your reality does not differentiate between areas of life the way your mind does. The universe responds to your vibration, not your subject-based requests. When you step into a frequency of wholeness, everything begins to align accordingly. This is why you will often find that a person who begins taking their health seriously suddenly receives new business opportunities. Or someone who heals their relationship with money finds that their romantic life opens up. These are not coincidences. They are reflections of an internal coherence being established. So, to manifest multidimensionally, you must first deconstruct the inner belief that says success must be earned through sacrifice. That belief itself is a form of energetic scarcity, and it taints every creation it touches. Instead, step into the paradigm that says, I get to have it all, not as a reward, but as my natural state when I am in alignment. Begin treating your health, your finances, and your relationships not as isolated goals, but as energetic limbs of the same body. You don't feed one limb and starve another. You nurture the whole. If you find yourself drained financially, ask where you are also tolerating emotional depletion. If your romantic life feels unfulfilling, inquire whether you've been neglecting the body that holds your intimacy. The inner landscape always tells the truth. Start by observing your inner dialogue across these areas. Is your tone empowering or compromising? Do you speak life into your body while speaking fear into your finances? Do you nurture your partner and neglect your passions? Balance must be built within first, and only then will the outer world harmonize in response. Energetic synchronization across life areas. At the core of multidimensional manifestation lies the principle of energetic synchronization. Every area of your life operates on its own vibrational frequency, yet those frequencies are not independent. They interact constantly, like instruments in a symphony. When one instrument plays out of tune, it throws off the entire harmony. To create a life where wealth, love, vitality, and purpose all flourish simultaneously, you must ensure the energetic music of your life plays in resonance. This doesn't mean every area is perfect at all times, but that none are so dissonant they disrupt the flow of the whole. Synchronization is less about perfection and more about attunement. This begins with the body, because the body is your first instrument. It houses every emotion, every belief, every energetic impulse. If you wake up every day anxious about money, your nervous system adopts that frequency, and it spreads into your interactions, your posture, even your digestion. Now imagine trying to create a loving relationship from that state. The anxiety leaks into communication, into tone, into emotional presence. Or imagine trying to attract abundance while carrying resentment in your heart from a recent breakup. That unresolved emotional discord colors your financial energy. You may chase money out of insecurity or repel it out of guilt. Energetic synchronization means you don't treat problems like isolated variables, but as symptoms of a larger frequency imbalance. You address the root, not the fruit. The real mastery lies in daily alignment rituals that bring coherence to your system as a whole. This could mean combining movement with mindset, walking in nature while affirming financial peace, or integrating breathwork that opens the heart and releases tension stored from unresolved arguments. It could mean journaling with a lens of integration, asking yourself, where am I allowing love in but blocking abundance? Or, where do I treat my body with care but deny emotional rest? When you begin treating your energy system as a connected ecosystem, you naturally stop feeding one area at the expense of another. You move from being a reactive human to an intentional conductor, tuning your internal orchestra with clarity and power. What's vital to understand is that synchronization isn't about balancing time evenly across all life areas. It's about bringing the same quality of energy into each. You can spend 5 minutes being fully present with your partner and infuse your relationship with more love than 5 distracted hours. You can give focused intention to your financial vision in 10 minutes that plants more seeds than a week of frantic, misaligned action. What matters is the frequency you're bringing to the table, not the calendar slot it fits into. Every action, no matter how small, is a broadcast to the universe. When those broadcasts share the same frequency of worthiness, peace, and purpose, creation accelerates across the board, holding multiple realities in harmony. Manifesting multidimensionally requires the ability to hold multiple evolving realities without collapse. The linear mind often wants to resolve things too soon, to label outcomes as final, to check off boxes so it can feel safe. But creation is non-linear. Life unfolds like a spiral where each domain progresses at its own rhythm. You might be experiencing a major breakthrough in your finances while your relationship is going through tension. Or you may feel physically radiant while simultaneously navigating spiritual confusion. This is not failure. This is frequency diversification. The true creator learns to hold space for the paradoxes without trying to collapse them into certainty too soon. The ego fears uncertainty, but the soul understands that holding multiple open loops is part of powerful creation. When you learn to remain calm amidst contrast, to let your financial life rise without needing your love life to match it instantly, you develop emotional range. You become capable of holding the complexity of your expanding life without scrambling to fix, force, or freeze it. This is what separates advanced creators from novice manifestors. The ability to live with open-ended manifestations without losing faith. You become a steward of unfolding realities, not a dictator forcing premature conclusions. To do this, you must build what can be called frequency chambers within yourself, mental and emotional spaces that can each hold their own reality with dignity. Your health chamber might be glowing with wellness, while your career chamber is in renovation. That doesn't mean you sabotage your joy in one because of delay in the other. You learn to let each area breathe at its own rate. This is not detachment. It is divine multitasking. You stay energetically invested without becoming emotionally hostage to any single result. You trust that just as muscles grow at different rates in a body, so do manifestations in your life. This ability also fosters deep emotional maturity. Rather than spiraling when one domain doesn't meet your expectations, you lean into the stability of the others. If your romantic life is shaky, but your business is thriving, you remind yourself, I am still expanding. You use the solid ground of one frequency to stabilize the wobble in another. You stop dramatizing fluctuation and start respecting the intelligence of divine timing. You begin to see that harmony is not about every string playing the same note, but about the blend of varied tones creating a fuller, richer song. Eventually, this capacity becomes intuitive. You no longer need every part of your life to be in peak form to feel secure. You trust the seasonal intelligence of manifestation. You accept that growth does not follow your ego's schedule, but a sacred architecture you're only beginning to understand. And in that surrender, you access a rare grace, the ability to remain radiant even when the external isn't perfect. You walk through uncertainty with the poise of someone who knows it's all working, even when it's not visible yet. That is the soul of multidimensional manifestation, not chasing, not panicking, not compartmentalizing, but holding, harmonizing, and honoring the infinite dance of becoming. Chapter 17, The Law Fulfilled, Living the Manifested Life. Embodying your manifestation. The art of becoming. The journey from desire to manifestation does not culminate in the moment your dreams appear in physical form. It truly begins there. It's one thing to create a result through focused intention, emotional alignment, and action. It's another to fully live within that result, to become the person for whom that result is now natural. This final chapter is not about one last push of effort, but about the soft, steady shift from the mindset of the seeker to the embodied grace of the receiver. It is a deeply humbling and powerful experience to wake up and realize that what once felt like a distant vision is now your morning routine, your new normal. This is the moment when the law of creation matures from a philosophy into a lifestyle, and yet many find themselves puzzled at this stage. They ask, now that I have it, now what? And the answer is deceptively simple. You now become it, breathe it, live it without trying. You anchor your identity in your creation so fully that you never again feel like a visitor in the life you manifested. The hunger to prove fades, and in its place rises a quiet confidence, one that knows how to sustain, expand, and radiate creation from the inside out. It is critical to understand that manifestation is not a fixed event. It is a relationship, a continuous dialogue between your consciousness and reality. When you first set out to create a new financial situation, a fulfilling relationship, radiant health, or creative success, you spoke to the universe in the language of belief, imagination, and energetic alignment. Once your desire took form, that dialogue didn't end. It simply evolved. Now you are being asked not just to enjoy the fruits of your manifestation, but to merge with them, to become the kind of person whose habits, posture, language, and expectations are in effortless harmony with what has shown up. This requires a deep trust, not just in the process of manifestation, but in yourself. You must believe that you are worthy of what you have created, not because you did enough to earn it, but because you were always worthy. The manifestation only revealed what was already true. And here's where the next level of creation begins, not with effort, but with embodiment. Embodiment is the sacred act of becoming the frequency you once reached for. It's when your internal dialogue shifts from "I hope this lasts" to "of course, this is who I am." It's when you no longer fear losing what you have, because you recognize that it was never separate from you in the first place. The house, the book deal, the soulmate, the business, the health breakthrough, whatever it is, becomes not just yours, but you. And with that integration comes a quiet kind of power. You move differently, you attract differently. You create not through force, but through resonance. Embodiment makes manifestation sustainable. It's no longer a peak moment. It becomes your baseline. And from that baseline, You can reach even greater heights without burning out, without questioning your right to receive, without sabotaging your results. The loop of creation, sustaining and expanding your reality. With embodiment comes a new rhythm, what I call the loop of creation. Unlike the linear path you may have followed at the beginning, desire, focus, belief, action, outcome, the loop invites you to continuously revisit and elevate your reality. Just as nature moves in seasons, so too does your creative energy. And in this circular movement, there is no end, only expansion. After one desire is fulfilled, another arises not from lack, but from inspiration. You no longer create to fix something broken. You create to express the ever-unfolding truth of who you are. This is the most liberating aspect of living by the law of creation, knowing that you are never done, but also never empty. You are eternally full, and from that fullness, your next vision is born. To live in this loop means you begin to check in regularly, not from a place of anxiety, but from curiosity. You ask yourself, what new version of me is wanting to emerge? What old patterns am I ready to release now that I've grown into this new identity? Where am I being invited to trust even deeper? These aren't the frantic questions of someone trying to fix their life. They're the reflective musings of someone sculpting their legacy. The loop also means you maintain your reality through gentle recalibration. You tune your thoughts and habits just as a musician tunes an instrument, not because it's broken, but because it's meant to be played in harmony. You revisit your rituals, your relationships, your self-talk, not because you need to be better, but because you want to be more aligned with your highest expression. And as you loop through these phases, you become more sensitive to your energetic environment. You notice quickly when something feels off, not because you're fragile, but because you've become so attuned to your truth that discord can no longer hide. You address misalignment with love and decisiveness. You no longer tolerate prolonged self-betrayal. And this doesn't make you rigid, it makes you sovereign. You create space for evolution without spiraling into self-doubt. You allow joy to grow without waiting for the other shoe to drop. And perhaps most importantly, you understand that sustaining your manifestations is not about constant hustle. It's about energetic hygiene, emotional honesty, and staying in conscious relationship with your reality. You become the gardener of your inner world, trimming, watering, nurturing, and occasionally replanting, not in fear, but in devotion to your growth, becoming the source, creating from overflow, not emptiness. As you stabilize in your manifested life, something profound begins to occur. You begin to realize that you are no longer creating from a place of need. You are creating from overflow. And this shift is sacred. It is the hallmark of a true master of creation. When you first began this journey, your desires were likely shaped by what you lacked or longed for. That's natural. Desire often awakens in absence. But once you've manifested those desires and embodied them, you discover a deeper truth. You were never just a seeker. You were always the source. And now your desires begin to come not from pain, but from purpose. You create, not because you must survive, but because you are here to contribute, to uplift, to innovate, to leave a mark that only you can leave. Creating from overflow is a radically different experience. It means you don't deplete yourself to manifest. You expand yourself. You don't hustle to prove. You create to play. The act of creating becomes joyful, not urgent. And because you are no longer trying to escape something, you start to build things that are rooted in presence, love, and vision. Whether it's a new business, a community project, an art form, a new chapter in your personal life, or a global movement, you are no longer trying to fill a void. You are channeling what already overflows within you. And from that energy, you become magnetic. You inspire not by telling people what to do, but by being a living example of what's possible when someone chooses to become the conscious architect of their own life. At this stage, your power no longer lies in what you can manifest. It lies in who you awaken by simply being who you are. You speak, and people feel permission to dream. You show up, and the energy in the room shifts. You make decisions, and others gain clarity on their own next step. This is not ego. It is influence grounded in authenticity. And it only happens because